You're listening to the MotherToBaby podcast, medications and more during pregnancy and breastfeeding. Ask the experts with your host, genetic counselor and mom of three, Chris Stallman.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another installment of our podcast. My name is Chris Stallman, and I am a mom of three, a certified genetic counselor, and a teratogen information specialist. For those of you who are new to the podcast, teratogen information is information about exposures that happen during pregnancy and also in breastfeeding. And exposures can be anything. It could be aspirin, it could be hair dye, it could be alcohol, or anything in between. And what we do at MotherToBaby is we answer these questions, the common ones and the uncommon ones. Today, we're broadcasting from San Diego, California at our annual meeting. Once a year, the Organization of Teratology Information Specialists, or OTIS, a group of professionals who study exposures in pregnancy and breastfeeding, get together so we can share the most current information and be able to pass it on to listeners just like you. OTIS is the organization that provides the MotherToBaby service. Part of the benefit of us all coming together once a year is that we can all be in the same place and we get to talk and have conversations about some of the new and upcoming hot topics. One of the most talked about exposures in the recent months for different reasons are vaccines. And that's what we're going to be focused on today. So we have two guests who are affiliated with the MotherToBaby network. Our expert today is Dr. Sonja Rasmussen. She is past president of the Society for Birth Defects Research and Prevention, formerly known as the Teratology Society, a pediatrician and clinical geneticist at the University of Florida Health. And our second guest is Kerri Bertrand, who holds a Master's of Public Health. She works for MotherToBaby California and is research manager for Mommy's Milk, which is a program that obtains, stores, and analyzes mother's breast milk in terms of exposures, so things that they may take while breastfeeding. Kerri and her team do those studies. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Okay, so
we're going to speak for you.
Well, gosh, if Kerri wasn't happy to be here, darn. Aw.
Happy to be here.
I didn't mention that I also spent 2 very good years with MotherToBaby California, so I know Kerri on a personal level, so it is great to see you again.
Great to see you too.
Thank you. So we are going to jump right in because I know vaccines is something that people have a lot of questions about. So Dr. Rasmussen, I'm going to put you on the spot right away. One of the questions that I get as a counselor all the time is, are vaccines compatible with pregnancy? Is it something that a woman can do in pregnancy?
There are 3 different categories of vaccines. Some that are actually recommended in pregnant women, recommended for every woman when she's pregnant. There are some that are recommended only if you need it during pregnancy, if the benefits of that vaccine outweigh the risks. And then there are some types of vaccines that are contraindicated during pregnancy.
So ones that pregnant women, regardless of their situation, should not have.
Right.
Okay. What are those?
The concerning kind of vaccines for during pregnancy are live vaccines. And that's because of the theoretical risk that a live vaccine can be passed across the placenta and affect the fetus. Now, it's interesting, those studies that have been done in the past have not shown those vaccines to be problems. But because of that theoretical risk, we do not recommend that women get those kinds of vaccines. And vaccines that fall into that category are things like the MMR vaccine. It's really important to get the MMR vaccine, the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, but it's important to get it before you get pregnant, not during pregnancy. Varicella vaccine is another one, the one for chickenpox. So one thing is, as you're thinking about getting pregnant, it's important to talk to your doctor about those vaccines that you need before you get pregnant. Your doctor should review with you, he or she should review with you the vaccines that you've had in the past and which ones you might need a vaccine before you get pregnant.
That's an excellent point. Kerri, I know that you recently had your second little girl. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was your experience in pregnancy and vaccine, either recommendations or ones that you chose to get or not to get?
Yeah, so I had my second daughter in December, so during the peak of flu season. So she was born right before Christmas. And so come the September before I had her was the start of the flu season and when they start offering the vaccine. And so I received my flu shot just to protect myself from potential flu infection and not being at risk for getting an infection that could have complications that are worse when you're pregnant. So I thought I was doing myself a good service by getting a vaccine there, as well as having the Tdap, which you receive in the third trimester of your pregnancy generally, and that passes on immunity to your baby, which for me was really important. And I have a personal story that happened that I was happy that I had this vaccine when my daughter was 2 weeks old. My older daughter, who's 3, came home from preschool with what was presenting as whooping cough, which was part of the pertussis vaccine. And we had to go in and get tested, and we were waiting for results. And at that point, while we were nervous to find out if she actually had pertussis or not, I was just really happy that I had received a vaccine, that my baby then was receiving antibodies from me, both during the pregnancy and then through my breast milk. And I was just happy that I had that resource to be able to provide my new baby.
Yeah, that is actually a really good point, and that is one of the vaccines, both flu and the Tdap vaccine, the tetanus, diphtheria, acellular pertussis, which protects against pertussis or whooping cough, are the 2 vaccines that are recommended for every woman during pregnancy. And for flu, it protects the woman from getting flu, but it also protects her baby in the first few months of life. And babies are really at significant risk of getting flu and having complications from that flu. So it's really important. Babies can't get the flu vaccine until they're 6 months old. So the only way they can have protection is to be sure that everyone else is vaccinated around them and that their mom is vaccinated so they can pass those antibodies through the placenta across to the baby to protect that baby for those first few months of life.
I think I felt this even more with my second daughter. My first daughter, I could cocoon a little bit more. And then when I had a second baby and I had a toddler in the house who was exposed to everything and coming home from school with all those germs, it really just made me thankful that I had vaccines to be able to rely on.
So, Kerri, Dr. Rasmussen brought up a great point. Did your husband get vaccines as well?
Yes, my husband received both flu shot and then the Tdap shot before we had our daughter.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. It's important that you protect that newborn baby as much as you possibly can, because newborn babies have a very immature immune system. They don't have the ability, the memory that all of us have of being exposed to different viruses and bacteria in the past. And so the way we can protect them is by getting vaccinated, by making sure that the mom is vaccinated so she can pass the antibodies, but then other people that are going to be around that baby, whether it's grandparents, whether it's a babysitter, whether it's the people at daycare, they all need to be vaccinated too, so that they don't get sick with flu or with pertussis and pass it on to your newborn baby.
Dr. Rasmussen, Kerri, thank you for that helpful information. But we're not going to let you go just yet. We want to talk about the common myths a lot of women may have heard when it comes to vaccines and pregnancy. We'll let you know which one of those myths are true and which are not. Plus, we have not forgotten about all you breastfeeding mamas out there. We'll let you know if you can get vaccines during breastfeeding as well. So make sure to tune in to part 2 of our discussion about vaccines on the next MotherToBaby podcast episode, which airs in about 2 weeks. By the way, you don't ever have to miss a new episode of the MotherToBaby podcast. Hit that subscribe button so you're alerted every time a new episode is available. Make sure to also keep in touch with our experts with your questions about medications and more during pregnancy and breastfeeding by visiting MotherToBaby.org. That's MotherToBaby.org. If you'd like to have a question or a topic addressed in a future episode, or if you want to ask your question live on our show, please email us at contactus@mothertobaby.org. As always, I'm Chris Stallman. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care.
MotherToBaby is a service of the nonprofit organization of Teratology Information Specialists and supported by the Health Resources and Services Administration of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. It's made possible through generous donations from listeners like you. To learn more about MotherToBaby, please visit MotherToBaby.org.